Is that a moral victory for him to make it through the 12 rounds standing up?
I would think, obviously, I hope he didn't go into the fight thinking like, if I just go 12 rounds, then I'll win.
He kind of came out of the fight thinking that way. It sounded like in the press conference, he kind of saw it as a moral victory. Do you think it?
I think for a lot of other welterweights watching the fight, where you've seen, you know what, this is fight, not it's a fight that they want with Spence.
You see something you could take advantage of Spence in that fight?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What would that be?
I've seen a lot of things. I think Mikey did a good job. I think Mikey held his distance well. Every time Mikey threw punches, he landed good punches. He was just not strong enough. What do you mean?
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Boxing Facts Over Fiction. I need you guys to do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. Guys, you just listened to former world champion Danny Garcia. His reaction to the Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia fight was epic. First, he started off saying, I hope Mikey Garcia didn't go in there trying to make it to the 12th round. Danny Garcia said, I hope Mikey Garcia did not go in there to make it to the 12th round, pretty much to survive, I hope he went in there to actually try to win. But then he then went on to say some other stuff that probably shocked everybody, including myself. He said, I seen a lot of stuff in Errol Spence in that fight, a lot of weaknesses. Danny Garcia said he's seen a lot of stuff in that fight. He said Mikey did well. It's like Mikey did really good. First he said he hoped Mikey Garcia didn't go in there to survive, to get a moral victory. Then he said he sees a lot of stuff in Errol Spence Jr. He sees a lot of weaknesses. It's going to make a lot of other welterweights want to fight Errol Spence Jr., according to Danny Garcia. So here we are again with a guy like Danny Garcia saying the same thing Mikey Garcia was saying. I see a lot of weaknesses in Errol Spence Jr. again. Guys, when this fight was over, I was one of the first person to tell you that I like the fact that this fight went 12 rounds. The reason why, because of guys like Danny Garcia. They seen Errol Spence knocking out all the welterweights, the top guys at welterweights, knocking out guys like Lamont Peterson. Guys like Lamont Peterson, we can argue Lamont Peterson defeated Danny Garcia. I would say Danny Garcia pulled it off, but we can still argue that it was a close fight. And we seen what Errol Spence did to Lamont Peterson. Danny Garcia ain't do that. We seen what Errol Spence did to Chris Algieri. Nobody did that to Chris Algieri before. Manny Pacquiao couldn't do it. We seen what Errol Spence did to Kell Brook. So Errol Spence was out here knocking out guys bigger than him. Guys like Kell Brook, who was way bigger than him. Guys that's never been knocked out in the fashion that Errol Spence knocked them out before. And nobody wanted to get in the ring with him. He goes in the ring with a guy moving up 2 weight classes. A guy who, in my opinion, went in there to survive. So he does get that moral victory, but you don't get a moral victory for losing every round, in my opinion. And now we got guys like Danny Garcia saying the same thing this featherweight was saying, that he's seen holes in Errol Spence Jr. He's seen weakness in Errol Spence Jr. I mean, he said Mikey Garcia just wasn't strong enough. So I'm guessing, in his opinion, he's stronger than Mikey Garcia. So if he's going to say something like that, we would like to see him prove it. I told you guys this was a great thing. Errol Spence Jr. did. It was a great thing Errol Spence Jr. did by going 12 rounds with Mikey Garcia. Now, it's not just great that he went 12 rounds with Mikey Garcia. It's great that he fought Mikey Garcia on a big stage in front of 50,000 people. Now, guys are saying, we can get in the ring with Errol Spence Jr. We're going to get paid, and we might not even get hurt. Mikey Garcia was able to go 12 rounds. So we might be able to go 12 rounds as well and get a big payday. This is what goes on in these fighters' head, guys. This is what goes on in these fighters' head. Before, it was high risk, low reward. It was looking at Errol Spence Jr. as high risk, low reward, even though Errol Spence Jr. is a champion. But he wasn't a big payday. These guys did not want to get knocked out and don't get paid well. Now, I bet you Danny Garcia will be anxious to get in the ring with a guy like Errol Spence Jr. Danny Garcia said line him up. After the Adrian Granado fight, he's willing to fight everybody. But we all know who he really wants to fight. He wants to fight Keith Thurman. He don't want to fight Sean Porter. He don't want to fight Errol Spence Jr. He don't want to fight those guys because those guys' styles are really bad for him. Danny Garcia will fight Keith Thurman 10 out of 10 times, guys, if that fight was offered to him. That's the fight he really wants. That's the fight he still wants. Danny Garcia wants that Keith Thurman fight so bad because he felt like he won the first fight. But I'm glad Errol Spence Jr. went 12 rounds with Mikey Garcia. This opened up a lot of stuff. I recently seen an interview with Danny Garcia saying he's open to fighting Mikey Garcia. Will Danny Garcia beat Mikey Garcia in impressive fashion like Errol Spence did? Will he win every round? I don't see it. In fact, I think Mikey Garcia could cause the upset against a guy like Danny Garcia. I think Mikey Garcia could cause the upset in guys like Sean Porter. I don't know about Keith Thurman. Definitely not Terrence Crawford. I mean, Terrence Crawford embarrassed Mikey Garcia in the amateurs. It's the pros, but come on, guys. If you know boxing, you know it's going to be the same outcome. Terrence Crawford is considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world. He's not considered that for a reason. He's not considered that for no reason. He's pound for pound the number one fighter in the world. Pound for pound, my number one fighter. And Mike Garcia fought Terrence Crawford, it'll be the same like Errol Spence Jr. fight, a one-sided fight. I don't see Mike Garcia winning any round. In fact, there's a possibility Mike Garcia may get stopped in that fight. Errol Spence didn't stop at Mike Garcia is because Errol Spence really didn't sit down on his punches. Errol Spence was trying to prove a point, but if Mike Garcia was to fight Terrence Crawford isn't trying to prove a point. Everybody knows Terrence Crawford can box. What Terrence Crawford is going to go in there, he's going to go in there to knock out Mike Garcia like he told Mike Garcia's brother, listen, I'm going to knock out Mike Garcia. He told his brother. I think that, not his brother. Was it his brother? It probably Robert Garcia. He told Robert Garcia. Terrence Crawford told Robert Garcia he was going to knock out Mikey Garcia. And then he told Robert Garcia's son, Peter, he said, I'm going to knock out Mikey Garcia. He told them to their face. And he's not lying, guys. He's telling the truth. That's how I see that fight going. That's how I see that fight playing out. Terrence Crawford will be too much for a guy like Mikey Garcia. I see Terrence Crawford knocking out Mikey Garcia if that fight ever happens. As of right now, I want to know what Danny Garcia sees in Errol Spence Jr. as well. He didn't say too much. He just said, yeah, I see a lot of stuff. You know, I think some reporters, if I was a reporter, I would pressure Danny Garcia to telling me a little bit more on what he saw, because I'm still trying to see what he saw too. In my opinion, I think he saw an ass whooping as well. As of right now, I want to see what Danny Garcia sees, because I clearly don't see it. The only way I see somebody being an Errol Spence Jr. is they have to be technically a much better boxer than Errol Spence Jr. They have to be a mean guy in there, physically imposing, a lot of stuff. And who fits that characteristics? Who has an all-around boxing skill that they can impose their will on Errol Spence Jr., can be able to at least try to impose their will on Errol Spence Jr. in my opinion, a strong guy like Terrence Crawford, even though he's moving up in weight. But we've seen how he bullied the much bigger Jeff Horn. You see how he tossed Jeff Horn around the ring? We've seen how physically strong Terrence Crawford is. We've never seen nobody this toss Jeff Horn around the ring. Manny Pacquiao couldn't even push Jeff Horn back except the 9th round. It took him 9 rounds to finally push Jeff Horn back a little bit. Jeff Horn bullied Manny Pacquiao. You know? Terrence Crawford bullied a much bigger Jose Benavidez. That's why Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. is the super fight that everybody wants to see. And the hardcore boxing fans knew this was the super fight when Terrence Crawford was down south and Errol Spence was up north. We knew how big of a fight that could have been. And now Crawford has moved up north to challenge Errol Spence Jr. That's why that fight is so important. That's why that fight is so important to boxing fans. And I'm one of those boxing fans that will pay $100 just to see that fight. $100. That fight is mouth-watering. We drool at the sound of that fight. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. Mouth-watering. Boxing fans are excited. We want to see that fight so bad. That fight is so exciting, guys. I'm looking forward to that fight. But do you guys see what Danny Garcia see in Errol Spence Jr.? In my opinion, all I see is Danny Garcia trying to make it to the 12 rounds like Mikey Garcia. Because first of all, Danny Garcia isn't a come forward guy. He's going to be there all night, but he's not going to try to walk you down. He's going to wait for you to throw before he throws. So I don't see what Danny Garcia see. But what I do see is an ass whooping. I see Danny Garcia going in there against Errol Spence Jr. and getting his ass whooped for 12 rounds. Or probably knocked out. Probably get his ass knocked out if he decides to throw. Because if he doesn't decide to throw, he has a really good chin. He's not going to get knocked out. But if he does decide to throw, he is getting knocked out. But yeah, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Drop your comments in the comment section. Let me know if you do see something that Danny Garcia